Hello, good morning, and welcome to episode 2 of Siano on the Sidelines. I am Anthony Gogolski, joined with Gavin McCormick, and also joined with Sterling's very own athletic director, Mr. Ken Siano. Mr. Siano, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode.
As always, it's a privilege to be on here. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you again. We're going to have a great time talking about some wrapping up winter sports. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, today we will be talking about the winter sports that are currently still going on and recapping some of the sports that have already ended. At the end of today's show, we will be joined by Mr. and Coach Desmond Wiggins, a very athletic Sterling alumni, who is now head coach of our very own football and wrestling team here at Sterling High School.
In today's episode, we will be starting off with swim news. The swim season is officially wrapped up for Sterling, so let's check out some of the stats and information we have about some of the swimmers and the team. Very big season for Carson Wiley here, as you can see for the time leaders. He is only a sophomore, coming in for three of the guys. He has three of the records for the swim times this year for men's. Also, for ladies, we can see here Reagan Sheehan. Now, Reagan Sheehan, Jr., she is 0.1 second away, believe it or not, from the 100 breast record. Mr. Siano, what do you got to say about that? As a junior, still with one season left as a swimmer, she's a beast. Now, also, she has 5 of the 8 top times in the girls' records for our school. She's really doing an amazing job for the swim team here.
Well, yeah, she's incredible. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess that record is going to be broken next year, probably early in the season, and she's going to set the standard for what that time should be here at Sterling.
Also, very good times from Riley Sharp, only a freshman, another really good, another girls swim team. And now let's talk about the people going to invitationals for the boys and girls. We have Zach Capelli going, Zach Stone, Ryan Horn, and Carson Wiley. And for the girls, we have Reagan Sheehan, Riley Sharp, Lila Lowett, Kennedy Davis, Melody Lofgren, and Kalia Duckett. We have a lot of people going to invitationals. That's very impressive for the swim team this year. They definitely had a good season.
They had a great season, and again, they're young. They're only going to be better. Coach Ziegler does a great job. Coach Flacco does a great job, and we look forward to seeing what they do in the future. That's for sure.
Let's move into winter track.
Yeah.
We have for the girls' track, we have 2 new record holders, one being Izzy Petruno and another one being Jonalee Adamas. We have 2. Izzy Petruno now holds the indoor record for high jump with a height of 5'4". The previous record holder was Genova Logan with a height of 5'2". Jonalee Adamas, another record holder for the girls, beat the indoor record for the 1K with a time of 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 0.4. And Elise Simpson was the previous record holder with a minute of 3 minutes and 25 seconds, 0.03.
Couple things I'm seeing here. Right off the bat, that graphic there at the bottom for Jonalee, I don't know who did that, but that is a great job. Really awesome graphic. And the second thing I'm seeing here is Jonalee beating Elise, so it's nothing like having a record over your friend.
Yeah, it definitely makes a team a lot better when you have two, not so much a hatred competition, but when you have competition in between two people.
I would consider that friendly competition.
Yes, of course. Friendly competition. It definitely makes those two individuals better.
They're pushing each other. Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Moving on to boys track, Bright John brought home a state championship in the 55-meter dash with a time of 6.55 seconds. And he also broke his own school record for long jump with a distance of 21 feet and 11.75 inches. Also, he broke the indoor 200-meter record with a time of 22.9 seconds. Bray has been on fire this year from soccer to track. How do you feel about how he's been going this year, Siano?
So I'm pretty sure that Bright has a lot of pressure on him. He's going to be competing in the Meet of Champs this upcoming weekend. So if you don't know, they drive like an hour and a half away to Staten Island to compete for the Meet of Champs, and he's going to run for about 13 seconds. So it's about 3 hours of driving for 13 seconds.
Talk about fast.
Yeah, he's fast, and he's impressive. And what it really boils down to is Bright has a lot of pressure on him because he needs to win a championship here in the spring season somehow. So he's got to go 3 for 3 and set himself apart from the rest of the pack.
He already has those 2. He wants to go for the 3-peat.
Yeah, the 3-peat.
Very impressive from Bright John.
Yeah,
not even first of all, not even being a soccer player his whole life, just being fast, coming out, learning soccer, playing varsity, starring, and now he's just tearing it up on the track field. I've heard a lot of good things about him from Mr. Shep as a person and a track star. Very good
what
athlete.
can he do at this point? You
Yeah,
know?
seriously.
We have all the faith in the world in him to win one in the spring.
Coach Wiggins needs to get him running routes or something, I think.
A little too late for that now.
Attention, Sterling High School. We have a little intermission. Very important news for us. It is very important that you get your physicals in and all of your R School paperwork filled out. For more information on this, we will pass it to Mr. Siano right now.
All right, so the big thing is here, any questions you have about your physical or school, please stop down to see me. I mean, I'll be able to point you in the right direction, if not help you right there on the spot. The big thing is we don't want any delay in your participation for sports. So it says due by March 10th. That's the date in which we're starting our spring season. So let's get everything done now. Let's make sure we're cleared to play, you're registered, and you have your physical up to date now. So we're good to go on March 10th.
The wrestling team season is finally over. We're going into wrestling. Sterling lost their last match, They had their first Group 2 playoff match against Lower Cape May, and they lost that match, capping their season at 10-17 and finishing in second place in the Colonial Patriot Conference. Let's take a look at some key stats from the season and the rest of the individual wrestling picture. At our wins leader, we have Kenny McCardle coming in at first, who is a senior who has done very well this year, excelled a lot over the offseason, and from his junior to senior year made a very good improvement. We have Joseph Carter, who is a junior, coming in at second for our wins leaders. Jojo Carter, it's just his second year wrestling. Coach Wiggins has done a very good job training Jojo, making him a very good wrestler. For his second year, he's done really good and excelled a lot this year. I've seen a lot of good things from him. At third, we have myself, Gogo, senior, for the win leader. And then we have Renee Camacho and Declan Winters coming in at 4 or 5, 2 younger guys at sophomores that stepped up pretty big this year and got us some wins when we needed them and definitely performed out there on the mat. At our pin leaders at the top, we still got Kenny McCardle himself, senior, 25. And second, we have Anthony Gogolski, another senior. And then at 3 and 4, again, we have our 2 sophomores, Renee and Declan, who came up big this year, getting themselves at 3 and 4 for the pin leaders. That is very huge. And then at 5, we have Joseph Carter again, our junior this year. His only second year wrestling. Getting up to 5 on pin leaders is pretty impressive, I think. So second year wrestling, that's a pretty good feat.
Girls wrestling made a huge breakthrough this year in New Jersey and especially at Sterling. Debbie Amon, leading the girls team with a 9-7 record, made a huge improvement in her wrestling and has definitely took the lead for the girls team for the future. Lily Stevenson, with a record of 9-6, was right behind her for the support of the girls team this year. With this being her first year, she will definitely be making a huge impact for the boys and girls team next year.
Finally, let's get into some district information. The Knights, we only had 1 wrestler move on to regions after the district tournament. After hard-fought battles from Anthony Gogolski, Renee Camacho, and Joseph Carter, Kenny McCardle was the only wrestler who placed third, advancing to regionals at Lacey High School this Friday and Saturday. Kenny went 2-1 at districts, beating PVI and Audubon. Good luck, Kenny, the rest of your way, and you had a great season. Kenny really came out this year for his senior season and did his thing. He did his job. He had a couple losses in the beginning of the season, but that was it. After those couple losses, all he did was move forward, and he improved this whole season, and he was able to pin a very good wrestler from Audubon to move on to regions after having a hurt shoulder, staying through that, sticking through it, and continuing to go. Very impressive season from Kenny. Very proud of him for the senior season he had. What do you think, Mr. Siano?
Yeah, so for me, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. What it boils down to is Kenny had a hurt shoulder towards the end of the season, and he dealt with a lot of adversity. Kind of sat out against Lower Cape May, so kind of hurt you guys in points there. He's back for the individual portion of the tournament. I believe he's a 15 seed in regions here.
Underdog, baby.
He's underdog. At the end of the day, that means nothing in wrestling, right? You got to go out there and prove it against who you're wrestling against. And we're excited to see how he does this weekend. Hopefully we advance and we get somebody down to states.
Good luck, Kenny. Let's get it, brother.
Good luck. Wrapping wrestling up, we're now moving on to boys and girls basketball team, who are close to their playoff runs. So let's take a look at the boys basketball stats from the season so far and how they're looking going to the playoffs. Julian Johnson is averaging 11 points a game, with Zion Arnett averaging 13, Travis Schmidt averaging 9, junior Josh Borsch averaging 8, and senior Amari Key averaging 7. With only Josh Borsch being the only junior on this list, everyone else being seniors, he's going to have a big role next year.
Very senior dominant team.
Yeah, it's very senior heavy. You look at that list there, and the expectations are high. We're coming in at the 12th seed, which we'll see in a second here, playing against the 5th seed. Again, doesn't matter.
Overbrook, your home territory.
No, not my home territory anymore. My former home territory.
Former. We all come up from something.
I guess. Yeah. You're right. So
you're in a better place now, so it's all good.
Yeah, a little bittersweet for me. Yeah, and I would agree. I'm in a better place now. A little bittersweet for me. I am excited for that game. I have a lot of friends over there. So, unfortunately, I will not be there because we have a home playoff game here with the girls, which you'll see in a second. But hopefully the seniors and Mr. Coach Barringer and Coach Barrett and them take care of business there, and we come home with a win, and we move on in the playoffs.
Yeah, it seems like there's always an upset in the 5-12 game, so let's hope Sterling can keep that rolling.
Big 5-12 game. Let's go Sterling boys.
That's right.
Staying on basketball, let's dive into the girls team who has made a huge impact on Sterling this season. But first, let's start with the girls' senior night game last week against Winslow as they celebrated their graduating players and managers. As we see here, we got seniors Amber Wilsey, Michaela Carr, Ireland Kay, Macy Fox, and Paris Logan. Paris Logan in that game had an impressive 19 points. I'm going to talk about Paris Logan for a second. Very dominant this year for the girls' team and has led the team almost, and definitely throughout a hard beginning of the season, but it has taken no time for them to find their chemistry.
She is the silent leader of the team.
For sure.
And I really emphasize silent. She doesn't say much. She leads by example. I feel like every time we talk about her, she's scoring 19 points and has 10 rebounds and is leading the team, kind of dominating the paint, which she's great at.
Also in that game, Amber Wilsey had 12 points. And in that game, that put Lexi Kuhn only 2 threes away from 100 career threes, which is very impressive as a junior. She'll definitely be hitting that soon. And going into the playoffs for the girls, I believe we have the 8 seed. We are the 8 seed going against Gloucester. We played Gloucester January 23rd, actually, already, which was for Coach Kate's 300th win, which is very impressive. Coach Kate is a very good coach. And to see her, we already beat Gloucester. We're going into the playoffs now. We can't let that – we can't go in knowing we're going to win, but we definitely have some confidence going into this game. We definitely could take this game, and I think we're –
I just want to touch on one thing from senior night that we kind of forgot about. 2 points for Ireland Kay. If you guys didn't see the beginning of that game, she's been hurt this soccer season, this basketball season. So we were able to get her 2 points before the game essentially started, and very proud of that. Happy she was able to accomplish something this basketball season. We played, that was cool. It was really cool. When we played on January 23rd, I was fortunate enough to get myself to Gloucester City for Coach Kate's 300th win. That was actually the first time we experimented with Skyping into the live broadcast on Sterling 19, and I thought that was very successful. And the results were perfect at Gloucester City. We got the win. We took care of business. We did it the way we normally do. Now it's about replicating that, taking care of business, controlling the ball, not making mistakes, putting the ball in the hoop when we have open shots, and, getting out of there with a win, and then moving on to what is going to be a very tough opponent in Middle Township.
And I think we will. I know Coach Kate definitely has a plan for that game. We'll come
she always does. She's always well prepared.
Before we wrap up the first section of our show, I would like to make one more announcement. The spring season for esports starts March 5th. For anybody interested on joining, make sure to reach out to Ms. Kier for more information.
This wraps up the first section of our show with Mr. Siano. Thanks for joining us for another segment, sir. It's been an honor. Coming up after this break, we will be sitting down with Sterling's football coach and wrestling coach, Sterling alumni, Mr. Desmond Wiggins. So make sure you stick around until after the break to talk with him.
Go Knights.
Should I sign my flex time?
Oh no! Study hall?
study hall.
Welcome to study hall, Nick. No. To assign my flex time.
Welcome back to Siano on the Sidelines. This is the second part of our show. We are now joined with Sterling alumni and head coach of both of the football and wrestling team, Coach Desmond Wiggins. Coach, first off, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to be on with you guys, and let's get rocking and rolling.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you
Absolutely.
for coming on. It's an honor. First things first, can you tell us a little bit about how this wrestling season went that just ended? And also maybe a little bit about Kenny going on to Regions.
Absolutely. Wrestling season, I would say overall, I was proud with the effort of all the guys. We're a young team, as you guys can see too, as well as you guys were going through the stats and things like that. So really proud of how the team performed. We kind of peaked really strong, I'll say, in the middle of the season. End of the season started tailing a little bit, but, we everybody finished, I thought, well. And I'm excited about, the future of the program and how kids are working, those freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and those guys. And I was proud to have you as long as I had you. Missed your year, but, glad to have you as long as I did.
Yes, sir.
And so as far as Kenny, excited about Kenny. He's been doing this, as you, for a long time.
Life, yeah.
Yeah, and so, I'm proud. He was really emotional just to be able to get through. Last year, he was very, very close. He took fourth at district, so they only took the top three. And Kenny now has the opportunity to be able to perform at Regions, and I look forward to it. Not looking forward to the drive, but I'm looking forward to being at Regions.
With a hurt shoulder, too.
Absolutely.
Kenny had to push through a lot more than just winning that match. He was struggling with a lot of adversity with that shoulder, which is impressive for him to catch the dub. So
No doubt.
And not even the dub. He pinned the kid.
Yeah,
Impressive
absolutely.
third place match.
Yeah, I mean, a really good kid who made it to Regions the year before. And, he has some situations going on with his shoulder that I will not disclose. But basically, man,
Wrestling
he really,
stuff.
yeah, there you go. But he really pushed himself, man. I'm really proud of him. And he's had a great week of practice with a lot of guys that are going to Regions, and excited for him.
Yeah, great season for that wrestling team. Coach, I have to know, with coaching both football and wrestling here at Sterling, what inspired you or sparked your fire to start working and coaching here?
I would say the kids. For me, I remember being a high school athlete. I remember all the work, and I remember the impact. I'm sure it's probably going to be a question, but an impact that my coaches had on me. And that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to give back and give impact to these kids, and knowing how much a significant role a coach plays in someone's life. And so I started coaching kids in middle school area, and then I just felt the need to be able to come up to high school, and that's what we did.
Great answer.
That's great.
Coach, let's hit the rewind machine a little bit. Let's take a trip back to the 2000s championship match. Coach, can you run us, as we watch this clip, can you run us through what's going here as you're up 14-0? First match of this championship match, by the way.
Yeah, I was a lot smaller. I mean, my height probably didn't change too much, but my weight definitely did. I was all of about 100 pounds, wrestling 103 pounds. Didn't really cut any weight my first 2 years. But really, I was just trying to, get a pin for the team at the time. I was up at a point of tech falling the kid. Had him pinned a couple times. Still mad about that, even though, as you guys can see, those cool socks I had on, actually had Sterling on the side of my socks. I was a whole full-blown night. But yeah, we're just trying to get a pin for the team and finish up when we was in Group 2 sectionals that year. And it was a great time, man. The gym was packed. Couldn't even hear myself think.
Stall called end the match.
Yeah, as you guys can see, I was mad. You see me slap the mat. I was really upset.
Off a little
as
bit
you can
too.
see, yeah, look at me, slapping my head. I was a maniac in those days, but I'm still a maniac in a good way. But yeah.
Who would think that you could get mad teching someone in the championship match? That's just a different type of dog there. That's why you have to give respect to this man right there. That's a different type of winner right there, honestly.
I hear you.
Going to Sterling in the 2000s and excelling at such a high level with your team must have been an amazing experience. Can you tell us what it was like getting coached by such a great coach like Mike Ahern, and what the experience of Sterling used to be like?
Oh man, I just actually had this conversation with Coach Tad. Is the fact that in the year 2000, I think this has not yet been done, we had our boys basketball, girls basketball, and wrestling team all win Group 2 sectionals in the same season. That's never been done in any
Great
other
feat.
school. So in 2000, it was a wild place here. It was a wild time as far as the winter time. And Coach Ahern, man, like I still talk to him this day. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying about the significance a coach can make on you. Ahern was great, man. Love him. He's now reffing. He coached almost for like another 24, 25 years, but now he's actually a ref. And so it's just good of how, you know, the program, the guys stuck together. It was a family oriented. I mean, basketball supported wrestling, wrestling supported basketball. And it was just a great time. And, you know, just loved it, man. Loved it. And I love this place.
Definitely seems like a very special thing to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Just looking at that video clip, looking at the gym
Oh,
alone.
man. I couldn't hear myself think.
It looked like everyone was together, united. Must have been so fun.
I'll share this. It was so cool. Our school, like their school was trying to pull up like newspapers to block out this. Like it was a crazy, crazy atmosphere. I can remember like it was yesterday and get chills thinking about it, man. It was a great time.
Well, Coach, I think that wraps it up for the section part.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Appreciate it a lot. Thank you for doing your thing here with us. Gavin, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that will wrap it up for the Sideline with Siano episode 2. I hope everybody enjoyed. That will be it.
Have
Go
a great
Knights.
day. Go
Go
Knights.
Knights.
Go Knights.